Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Nilesh Sathe. He's a known personality in the insurance industry. No need of an introduction, so I would be actually insulting him if I introduce him. But just to give it a starter, Mr. Sathe, I know him for many years, and whatever knowledge I have about his introduction, so I don't want to go into his background completely. I can just say that he was heading LIC in a senior role. He was also heading the LIC mutual fund. And then subsequently, he was with our regulator, the IRDA, as a member life over there. And he's on the boards of various insurance companies and mutual fund companies currently. And he works in an independent capacity and has brilliant views. And my book would be incomplete if I don't take his views. Hello, Mr. Sate.
Hello,
Thanks
hello.
for
How
your
are
time.
you? Thank you so much.
Great, sir.
My pleasure.
So it's always a pleasure talking to you and discussing with you. And the vibes which I get is always brilliant. You have been a fighter yourself. So digital world, you have seen digital world probably the most than us because what we call as AI today, probably AI according to me was the first AI was calculator, I can say, right? Then we
Yeah.
had the DTP, the Pentium 2s, 3s, 4s. You maybe heard that word, right? So you have seen all that world and you have seen the big mainframes and the challenges of those times and moved ahead with LIC being probably actually countries in itself. Okay. So I would like to discuss that piece because digital, according to me, is not just technology. Digital is a culture, it's a transformation, it's a process. And that is where probably you play a big role where you could actually put in light of the challenges of digital. So when we start about that, so let me ask first a very basic question to you, sir. Do you think our Indian insurance system, okay, the overall KYC, the transaction process, healthcare, etc., they are in sync today?
Uh, to some extent, I will not say that it is totally done, but uh, if you go back some 5, 10 years before, the process was absolutely on paper. You need to submit A document, B document, C document, have certified self-attestation. That has undergone a change quite a bit, especially if you are buying insurance online, then it is comparatively seamless. If you are buying it offline, then still paperwork is there, documents are asked for, it is not totally digital, and uh, they are moving forward, but not moving forward in the pace that they should have. But as far as digital contracting is concerned in insurance, especially in case of non-life, which is only a 1 year contract, most of the online onboarding of customers is seamless. You don't have to do anything. You get a policy online, you have to submit a proposal online, you have to make a payment online, and then you get a policy online. You just take a printout or don't take a printout, let it lie in your desktop. Whenever required, you can take a printout. In case of life insurance, it has not come to that extent for two reasons. One is it's a long-term contract. So the persons who are underwriting also want to be more careful on really whether the document which is digital is authenticated or there is something fishy. And we have seen a lot of cases where income is inflated. Even the ITR returns are, camouflaged with a lot of wrong data. So the issue
Sounds
is
the
the
person with
underwriters
no
are very
experience.
cautious. Underwriters are very cautious. But to the extent the online boarding of customers is concerned, it is by and large seamless.
Uh, Sir, may not be full because of the medicals and financials required. Medicals still happen offline, though automation is in place, it's not digital. And the financials again have to come. Only thing is, instead of a paper, it comes by an email. But
Right.
financials is also, while the account aggregator, etc., is in place right now, it's not completely ready. We are not ready for it. Did everything digital.
Yeah,
Specifically, the surrogate income documents are not available.
you're right.
So, Ayushman Bharat, do you think, uh, of course, Ayushman Bharat happened during your times when you were there at the regulator place. So, do you think the existing insurance industry, both life and health, I mean, is impacted with the Ayushman Bharat thing coming from the government side, both positive as well as negative?
See, Ayushman Bharat, in my opinion, is a game changer. We need to give some sort of health insurance to everybody who is residing in India. And that was not available in the past. You simply have to go to some government hospital and get yourself treated there. And we know that families which are slightly above the poverty line, they again dip into the below poverty line with one admission to the hospital. We have seen that in the past. With Ayushman Bharat, maybe cover may be just 5 lakhs. We may think that this is too low. Or there are some covers which are available on sub limits. But still, the whatever has been given is really helping the public at large to get medical services at no cost. I'm not saying cheap, at no cost.
Uh,
And maybe as the time passes, it may be increased from 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs or 10 lakhs as the medical expenses, the cost of hospitalization is going up. That may be increased, but it was certainly a game changer. Whether it has impacted the health insurance companies badly, I don't agree. Actually, it has supplemented the efforts made by life insurance and health insurance companies because beyond 5 lakhs, if somebody wants insurance, then he will definitely come to insurance companies for availing that insurance. And today, he has availed of this facility because his income criteria fits into the eligibility for getting Ayushman Bharat or the health card. But when his income will go up and he goes out of the coverage available under Ayushman Bharat, he will definitely going for health insurance as individual cover. So these are all supplementing efforts. Just as I always used to say that in the first year itself, more than 2 crore PMJJBY policies were issued, which is a pure term policy. No time in the past, LIC had issued more than 2 crore policies, which were term insurance. Now, this is really a game changer and an eye opener for all insurance companies that when government scheme can have, last year the enrollment was 4 crore. 4 crore of term insurance policies being sold is something which is great. Again, that does not mean that people will then not take term insurance policies from life insurance companies. 2 lakh that way is a very low cover. Beyond 2 lakh, when they want, they will come to insurance companies. On the contrary, if in their family there is somebody who has died and he has got a claim of 2 lakhs or maybe accidental claim of another 2 lakhs, he has understood the importance of insurance. So from that perspective, the awareness has gone up. And obviously, India is developing, per capita income is going up, GDP is going up. So obviously, more and more people will come out of the poverty line. And when you have got surplus income beyond your basic needs of roti, kapda, and makan, as we say, the fourth requirement is the insurance. And he will understand it because he has gone through it. So this is supplementing whatever government schemes are there, maybe Ayushman Bharat or Fasal Bima Yojana or PMJJBY or PMSBY. These are not competing with the insurance company schemes, but
They have
going
the
forward,
data.
they will help to increase the cover.
Will the insurance company have the data of claims of Ayushman Bharat, etc., which is supplemented? The Will the medical records, etc., be available? will help them do better underwriting.
I fully agree with you. Government machinery on compilation of data, making it available to public is absolutely slow and dismal, I will say. That needs to be improved, and that will be improved over a period of time. Because just to give you an example, 2 years before, when I was writing an article and I wanted the data on PMJJBY, it was not available on the site of DFS. But today it is available on site of DFS, wherefrom I could collate that 4 crore people have been covered. And that is updated. The last which I saw was up to 10th of April, which is quite good. So going forward, this will be available and this should be made available. Actually, there has to be some sort of compilation, collation of data on health, which is available abroad. Everything is digitized, especially on health. You cannot get even a paracetamol from a chemist shop if you don't have a prescription. Nobody will give you a prescription. If you go to a doctor, he will upload the prescription on the site of which is connected to all the chemists shops. And when you go to the chemist shop, if he has prescribed one strip of paracetamol, the chemist will simply enter your PR, that is permanent residency number, and on his screen, your prescription will come. And once he gives you 10 paracetamols, that prescription will get cancelled. Here in India, even for drugs which cannot be given without medical prescription, I know people keep the old prescriptions with them and go to different shops and keep buying. That is not possible abroad. But again, Ganesh, I came to know that this program has been developed by TCS for the for the for the health industry of Denmark. So it is not that we are short of any intellect on that. But what is required is, when do we implement it? And for that, a lot of groundwork is required to be done. And our biggest problem is the population that we have, which is 140 crore. So,
Massive.
so these are some of the problems that India faces.
But as I say, always say, India is not short on application or software intelligence. It's the infrastructure which is a problem for us.
You are right.
So in fact, since you're on this topic, sir, about international developed nations and health records, you're talking about an EHR today. Do you see India moving in that direction of an EHR? I've been talking to various people involved in the government machinery on this, and there are various views. Okay, so of course we talk about Bharat, etc., and made in India. A lot of things that we're talking, it's positively moving on. This is one
Yeah.
area where I got multiple views on the EHR to the extent that it is not likely to happen, and it's something that it can happen next 2 years. How do you think? You have seen the industry closely for the last
No,
40
I
years.
will not. Ganesh, I will not give any timelines for such a big project. But whether we are moving in that direction, I think yes. Now, when you go to Hokard Hospital or Apollo Hospital, you just have to tell them your last time when you entered for the first time. What is your number? Medical history number. Based on that, the entire history will be available there, and you don't have to give anything else. Now, this is available in select hospitals. Now, when the same data will be collated, that you may be in Wokard, or you may be in Apollo, or you may be in Vijaya Hospital, or anywhere, or in Mumbai, Jaslok, or if you ask these hospitals to come on same platform and use the same software, then is it not possible? Is it difficult to have linkage of all these hospitals together? That is possible, and that is doable also. And for that, in my opinion, what is important at this stage is having some sort of regulator for the hospitals. hospitals are still unregulated.
You
Everybody
told my
is
question.
behaving in their own way. So that is something which needs to be stopped. And I personally feel that government is well aware of this. And in this 5 years, you will find a health regulator being put in place. I'm quite sure about it. Because all these problems, it is not that government is not aware of it. If you go to a hospital for any operation, the first question which is asked is, are you insured? Now, why that should be asked? And everybody knows that your bill will be based on if you are insured and you are not insured. Now, it is not that government is not aware of it, but it is taking some time to formulate it, to give it. You just imagine about when did IRDA come into existence? The sector was opened up 10 years before, 1990. It took 10 long years for the government to formalize the establishment of IRDA.
Absolutely, yes, you are right. The Narasimha Rao government type, when we're talking
That
about
is
the
what I'm
social
saying.
reforms, economic reforms.
Correct?
So, but then I don't know. The machinery, as I say, we have got intelligence, we have got applications, but the infrastructure is a problem. And as you rightly said, EHR, it's, every hospital has got a digitized record. But having a digitized record and having an electronic chain of the same, there's a big gap. And in my own experience, being from the private industry, I have faced lots of problems with LIC not being able to share information because of its own structural challenges. Okay, to the extent that 2015, the 14-15, that regulation came, I fought my best to say we should not be getting that section 45, to say all fraud should be paid. And I remember we represented to the law ministry and all, but then it's on a different scale, and even LIC couldn't do much because I always believe as an industry, we contribute a significant proportion to the GDP, but as an industry, we are not voicing out together. Now, LIC is there, a big elephant is there, but according to me, the private insurance industry also is sizable enough today, and together as an industry, if we talk about it, we can actually bring wonders. But somewhere, I see the industry is not together. I don't know why.
Ganesh, again, this is a process of evolution, you know. When industry also, you just tell me the way the General Insurance Council is working today, was it
Uh,
working 5 years or 10 years before? Answer is no.
Absolutely.
Because of involvement of private sector into General Insurance Council, it has progressed leaps and bounds. So these things will happen. Let us not become
Correct.
impatient. Like,
Absolutely.
I will give you another example. When you rightfully raised the issue of section, uh, what was that?
45.
45. I was there in IRDA at that time, and all of you had come to me and said, "Sir, the insurance companies will incur heavy losses." Now I am on the board of Tata AIA Life. I have been asking this question to the compliance officer, Swaminathan, time and again. What is your experience from 2015 to 2024? How many intentionally fraudulent claims were necessarily to be paid? You understand my question? Because if the claim is not reported within 3 years, claim has to be paid. So,
Correct.
how many claims were reported intentionally late by 3 years so that insurance companies do not have a choice but to pay it? I was surprised. I was not surprised, rather. I knew that the answer will be not many, and it is really not many. See what happens, we go by our own understanding of the subject without realizing that the customer will not behave the way you want him to behave. I will come back to another issue of surrender value. We are raising hue and cry about the guaranteed surrender value, special surrender value. IRDA wanted it to be increased. It is now increased. Now everybody is saying that the insurance companies will be in heavy losses because of this. and it will go out of the pockets of those who are regularly paying premium. All these apprehensions that we have, I'm not saying they are not rational. Yes, there is a basis for this, no doubt about it. But you tell me, suppose you sell me a policy and inform me that in the first year, if you surrender, you will get 70%, second year 80%, third year onwards, you will get 100%. Is it the purpose for which I am buying the policy? Answer is no. Why is it that you are afraid that by knowing that I am going to get more money, of course, not more than what I have paid, but more than what I used to get, I will immediately tempted to surrender the policy? Answer is no. Although actuarially we may have to rework out, but the experience after 3 years, you will come back to me and say, whatever was expected, the surrenders have not gone up to the extent we anticipated. Because customer doesn't behave in the way the actuaries think that they will behave.
Uh, I agree to this point, but on the section 45 piece, I have a view because I've been working closely with the insurance industry. I'm managing claims in different ways. We support consulting and services, etc. Um, and there are big scams happening in the country level. And those scams are in hundreds of crores. They can form their own insurance companies. When we are talking about data today, okay, we are saying that no, there are no problems because we are talking from one point of view, saying, okay, we do not, there are no frauds, one. But we are saying that late intimations are not there. Now, second question, the first question, there are no frauds because I did not investigate them. Because after 3 years, I'm not supposed to investigate them. And I had to take a claim guarantee and all. I had to make it faster. Okay. Reinsurers don't support is separate ball game. I'll not talk on that piece. But then, as a company, I'm responsible to pay the claim, all claims after 3 years, unless I prove that the guy is actually alive. And how much efforts is being put on that direction is a question mark. Okay. And second is late intimations. The industry has become so smart today. It is not necessary that the intimations have to come late. If a person is dying, or if the payment is made, or even the death certificates are getting managed, and there are case studies which show the accident records on the GI side is very badly hit by scams. And if we believe that those GI company customers are not defrauded the life insurance companies, I would say we are living in a world of bliss where we believe that we are not being treated as life insurance industry. Okay, because probably हमने सोच लिया है कि accident case है, FIR है, postmortem है, everything is fine. After 3 years, anyway, I'm supposed to pay. So the data is not the real data; it's the presumed data. Okay, so I will not go into that piece today. But yes, by saying there is no problem doesn't mean we may not have a problem because we are not
Again,
moving in the direction because of the regulation. They're bound to pay. Surrender value is a question of pricing. And as you rightly said, actuarial pricing is something which is a different ball game. I know you have been a master on that side. Group business may he say that half a death is priced. अरे आदमी आधा मरने पे थोड़ी आएगा अब तक. If one death has come, it's 2 years losses are already been for your company. But that's fine. So that it's a pricing game. It's a mathematics according to me. Frauds is the way we are planning a digital world. Fraudsters are planning it faster than us. And that is the reason the digital frauds are increasing significantly in our country. Anyway, so that topic is something which we'll keep away. But yes, I'm very happy that you are talking about fraud because when we talk digitization, my biggest concern has been you're on the board of insurance companies. It becomes very critical. When we talk digital, we talk onboarding. How much digital do we think on the risk management piece? Or is it that we say, इसको हम पहला करेंगे, इसको हम बाद में देखेंगे, सर्विसिंग को थर्ड देखेंगे, फिर सर्विसिंग को सेकंड, मैनेजमेंट को थर्ड? Why is it that an insurance is seen in silos? It's a separate ball game, and probably that is where the digitalization is not complete end to end for us. Okay, when we're talking on that piece, I got an interesting thing. Maybe we can club it up. So we are a country where At least more than 60% of the population depend on agricultural revenue, at least on paper. Okay, and this is completely different compared to the world revenue pattern, right? And then we have our own agricultural rules and income tax rules, which talk about exemptions and agricultural revenue to be shown in ITR, etc. So because of that, we don't have real agricultural income documentation in place. Then in the life insurance industry, we consider the gross annual income as you are aware of. So gross annual income, if a person says with agricultural revenue, we don't have documentation for that. So underwriting such people becomes a big challenge. Okay. Crop insurance is still done in a separate way. But unfortunately, the crop insurance world and the life insurance world is not in sync. Right. And for financial underwriting purposes, we don't have the real data. Sat Bara, Utara, and all, we are still following the old 70s, 80s ka formulas, government records, revenue records, certificate, and that is also half the time fake because it's paper generated, handwritten, which stamp, rubber stamp. Aata hai. How do you see this world changing? Because this is where the real digitalization is going to help us.
See, the first is I'm not against digitization. On the contrary, all the records, even of agriculture, have to be digitized. But it is not done. Now, whether it should be done first and then based on that, you should give them insurance, or without waiting for that to get digitized, you make a prudent estimate of his income and give him insurance. I think the second way is a better one, because all said and done, even today, there is huge protection gap. Even you and me who were employed, I will say, but we never had our insurance to the extent of human life value. So what about these agriculturists or the poor farmers who don't know about insurance? Will they go to that extent that even if he has got less agriculture income, he will ask for more insurance? Insurance as it is a push product, which will continue to be a push product. And for those who are well educated, even they do not understand the importance of adequate insurance. I am talking about protection cap. So the agriculturists and the farmers who may be big in number, but the amount of insurance that they are asking for is not such alarming that somebody will have to cook up the data and manually, show that he is holding 100 acres of land, and so he is worth 200 crores. No farmer or agriculturist I have come across who wants insurance beyond a crore. I don't know, your experience may be different. And giving 1 crore insurance, again, out of that, with retainer, with whatever limits we have for retaining this risk, we reinsure almost 70 or 80% of it. And if reinsurer is happy with the papers that you have submitted, then he will give insurance, otherwise he will not give reinsurance. So what I mean is, let us not work too much on the agriculturists who don't have digital data available for scrutiny for financial underwriting. Because what should be done, I will tell you. If at all there is a high sum assured case which is coming from some agriculturist, somebody from the office should go and visit him. Go with him to the farm. Find out what is the yield he is getting from what cropping pattern he is having. Whether he has got a tractor, how is he tilling the land, and assess for yourself whether the sum assured can be given to that extent or not. Is it difficult? But we want to go by numbers. We want huge number of people to be insured, and they do not have this data. So how do we do it? No, that is not a problem. You give some authority to the agent or to the supervisor to certify that I have seen his farm and his income as per the cropping pattern is this much, appears to be this much. What is wrong in that? Why is it that you should wait for agriculture documentation to be digitized and then offer him adequate insurance. As it is, he's not asking for adequate insurance. When you and I did not have adequate insurance, how the poor illiterate farmer will ask for adequate insurance or more than adequate insurance? So I don't think this problem needs to be asked for or tackled at this stage.
Right. So I think that puts me on to the thought process of it's coming from that LIC experience of empowering the agents, the distributors, probably where the private insurance industry has not moved that scale up. Uh, so you have been there on the LIC front, the medic on the front, and then you are the LIC mutual fund part as well. You're seeing, and the regulator, obviously, you're seeing the three worlds separately and jointly. So, and you know the complexities of the life insurance product, and probably you have answered some part of it now. How do you think we can have a complex life insurance product or a high value health insurance product? Okay. I'm not talking about normally health insurance is straight through to a great extent. High value also goes to the medical process and all. So, how do you think we can have this entire process of health insurance or life insurance, majority of them, going through a straight through processing, sir, without any paperwork, without any manual process? Okay. We I don't call it a digitalization. We have moved from the place of manual thing to mechanization to maybe an automation or an electronic record. Digital is not that. Digital is purely zero and one. So I'm not talking about PDF में आ गया आया आज. What used to be written by pen for the agent today, the agent is typing it. That's the only difference according. So how do you think we can get this digitized in a simple, straight through process manner? Majority of them. I think some part of it you answered some time back.
See, I'll tell you, Ganesh. Simple straight-through process is possible in case of almost 70 to 80% of the policies. Just take an example of non-medical cases. Now, private insurance companies may not have a large percentage of non-medical cases, but the LIC, which has small sum assured offering, almost 80% of the cases of LIC are under non-medical, which means a straight-through process. Maybe some documents will be there. Proposal form may not be online. That may be physical, or the age proof may be physical. But it is a straight-through process, meaning thereby that you submit a proposal today and get a policy the same day, or the same within 1 hour. Now, these non-medical limits are also going up for high sum assured. But still, if sum assured is beyond 5 lakhs, by and large, medicals are required, ECG is required, X-ray is required, blood tests are required. And unless you get all these reports on digital platform, you cannot have straight through process for medical cases. You cannot have. But again, what I want to say is, even if you are getting these physical documents, maybe on the same day, you are scanning them and uploading them for the underwriter to help him to underwrite medical cases. Maybe in a day or two, you should be in a position to complete the proposal. Again, Ganesh, don't be under impression that insurance is like a bank fixed deposit, where you go to a bank, get a fixed deposit receipt within 10-15 minutes and come back home. Insurance cannot be such a straight-through process, because a lot of areas are required to be looked into from a moral hazard perspective, from financial underwriting, medical underwriting, and the most important is the element of jugaad and the cheating that we have in India. So insurance companies also have to protect themselves from this. So do not expect it to be a straight-through process for a 100 crore sum assured case, even if it is 100% digital. I'm not in favor of that. For higher sum assured cases, insurance companies have to protect themselves from the potential loss due to fraud, misrepresentation. And for that, the straight-through process, I'm not in favor of. Maybe with digitization or without digitization. Insurance is a different product. And that is why I always keep saying, don't compare insurance with mutual fund or a bank deposit. It is a different product. Again, this is the only product which, even if is helping the government with over 50% of investable fund into government securities, government is not giving any favorable treatment to insurance sector. It is charging 18% GST on health and life, which on one side we say it is the necessity of life. When idli is not a necessity of life, going to hotel and restaurant and eating it, but on that you are charging 5%, but on insurance you are charging 18%. I think there is some mismatch somewhere. But again, coming back to the issue, insurance is a different subject. Let us not think of insurance to be on par with mutual fund or on par with bank deposit, where it will be a straight through process if digitization is there. Digitization has to be there. I'm not against that. But do not expect or think that once digitization is done, a 2 crore policy will be issued just across the counter. OTC, as we say, no, over the counter. That will not happen, and that should not happen. Because again, India and Indians, very complex.
Just to slightly put things right, on the private insurance sector, sir, most companies have got non-medical limits up to 2 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores, 5 crores as well, depending on the type of the client. Okay. So, not that it is not possible. It is happening, but then they have put the pre-underwriting in place, assuming it's a salaried employee, etc., etc. Still, despite that, there are challenges which are happening. That's why I wanted to know your views. But I'm happy that you are saying that digitization not take the front seat to the extent that we don't want to do any underwriting. Uh, I have got a very interesting question. When we are talking about frauds, we're talking about underwriting. I would like to see why can't we have entire insurance industry, life, health, and general, coming under a single umbrella and a thought process from an underwriting point of view. Okay, so लाइफ अलग देखते हैं हम जनरल अलग देखते हैं जनरल में मोटर अलग देखते हैं हेल्थ अलग देखते हैं the regulator is also separately looking at how we have got the retirement and pension also being set separately but clash insurance company life insurance industry is trying to sell pension plans also in the mutual fund industry also want to sell that piece there is a lot of confusion on that part why can't we look insurance as one thing because I have been an underwriter and the claims person both for now around 2 decades. So my thought process is very simple. I am underwriting one life, whether the life is for health or general, or even if it's crop. So crop is a subject matter of insurance or the car is a subject matter of insurance. But उसका primary holder मैं हूँ. I had to be underwritten at one point. Simple. US में कैसा है कि if I bang a car, my car insurance will go up. If it's drunken driving, my health insurance will be impacted. My life insurance will be impacted. Plus, drinking case है करके. So I don't think we are thinking on that direction. Even the regulators are not seeing that as a notion. Because now with there are plans coming up saying let's look at it. But I don't think they are just saying the health and general can be sold by same company. But the question is, why not as one product? I don't know. Maybe you're the right person to say.
What you say, Ganesh, is right. We have a long way to go. Just imagine we wanted to give Aadhaar card so that your identity is established. How many years it took for us to stabilize that? Even today, there are court cases where on privacy issues, it is being questioned. But the solution for life, health, and general, or looking at a person in a holistic manner. If he is holding a car, if he is holding health insurance of 10, 20 lakhs, then why I cannot give him insurance of 10, 20 lakhs as individual insurance? But this data is not with me. If that data is made available to me, or if he's holding a property which is again disclosed and it is available for valuation, if he's holding a property of 5, 6 crores, why cannot I cannot give him insurance? But for that, some sort of identity number is required to be given. Abroad, you gave a right example, but everybody has got a unique identification number. And that is why these things could be linked. In case of insurance, now regulator has asked all insurance policies to be put in repository. Now, repository in all probabilities will be a solution to it. So if I have got health policy, general policy, motor policy, life insurance policy, if all of these policies are with a repository and the repository has given me one unique number, insurance companies may be in a position to retrieve this data from repository by paying some fee and will be in a position to get it. So it is not that it is not possible or the regulator is not moving in the right direction. But the thing is, all these things happen in a very slow pace in India. So we have to discount it. It goes without saying. And let us not get frustrated that why it is not happening here when it is happening in Europe and US.
I'd like to just make a small point.
Disintegration of
When I
families,
started my
disintegration of
when I-
families happened in US 50 years before. It is happening in India today.
we are learning it. We are learning from nice culture from them. So by the way, I remember when I started my CA studies, those days the PAN card came. Okay. And the point of view which was learned by us at that point of time, early 90s, is basically PAN card is going to be the unique document for the country. So entire 90s, maybe 91 or 92, if I'm not wrong, the PAN card thing, for next 13, 14 years, it was being picked up. And then suddenly it took a backseat and then Aadhaar thing came up. Aadhaar thing took another 5 years to settle down. Uske baad, it slowly moved on. Now
Yeah, you're right. So,
I can say technically the entire country is having an
you're
Aadhaar.
right. That is precisely what I'm saying. That one, you have to think that you are in India and things will move, but not with the pace you expect or with the pace at which it has moved abroad. Because our system is different, our even parliamentary system is different, democracy is different, population is so huge. So we have our own issues. But whether things will move, I am very hopeful of it. Digitization, we are going in the right direction. Whether we are moving in the right pace may not be so much, but we are certainly moving in the right direction. And there are a lot of advantages of digitization. We have seen, you and I have stood in the long queues of railway for reservation of bogie. Now, nobody, I have at least not visited railway station for the last 10 years.
Very good.
So this is happening, but it will take time. And let us not become impatient.
Since you're on that topic, you were in LIC for a long time. And as I said, LIC is a conglomerate of countries. It's not just a few insurance companies. So when we try to compare private insurance industry, I say, boss, एक दो तीन country मिलाकर LIC है. So when we talk about it, you have seen the challenges of automation or technology orientation or digital. You may use any fancy word for it. The transformation has been challenged. Maybe can you just throw up some light on what are the real challenges of transformation towards digitization in an insurance industry? When I'm talking about industry, I mean the LIC, let's say. Your experience.
Yeah. See, being a public sector, there were more limitations than what private sector has. If I give you an example that when it was decided that IBM's mainframe computers will be imported and installed for LIC, they were decided to be installed at Calcutta. Truckloads of mainframe computers reached Calcutta, but the unions did not allow them to be offloaded. And then the same trucks were brought back to Mumbai, and in Santa Cruz, we had EDP department, Electronic Data Processing Department. Now, these challenges
Is it Jeevan
private
Annex building?
sector will not be having.
Right. The same Jeevan Annex building, right?
Same. Initially, then, but despite this, Did management stop going forward in computerization? No. We introduced microprocessors. Then we had regular desktops. And it has moved from one stage to another, and it has not stopped. I'll give you another example. When I was there used to be a debate on build or buy. Because many IT companies had come up and they were advising that we will help you and we'll do your work in a seamless manner because we are expert in this. You don't have qualified people. You are all generalists who have become specialists because of experience. So give us the work. I was in favor of that. But my friend who was heading IT, he said, no, we will not buy, we will build. We will make mistakes, no problem. But we will be in a position to rectify mistakes without paying a single rupee. For all changes which are required to be made, you know you are in the industry, every time you are billed. So LIC has certainly taken right decisions. I'll give you another example. When SIP was introduced, sorry, what is that?
ERP. ERP.
That time, the number of digits that were kept for investment were 11. They never thought that our investments will run in lakhs of crores.
Yes.
And then that was to be modified. So, okay. But it is not that we means LIC has not gone ahead. On the contrary, the customers get their notices online. You can pay online. You can pay through UPI, debit card, credit card, whatever it is. Premiums are paid. The claim intimations are received in advance. They are settled online. But again, maybe lacking by 5-6 years vis-a-vis private insurance companies. But had they not computerized, probably they had to close their office today. Just imagine, it was in 1976 when the IBM's mainframe computers were installed in LIC. Had it not been done, you just imagine what would have been the situation today.
Okay. So it is actually, you can say build versus not buy, build versus build. BUILD versus BILLLD.
BILLED.
Build versus build. Maybe just last two questions. One is, how do you see the exhibition of Bima Sugam across the industry? What challenges do you foresee in the same? Do you think, in your opinion, Bima Sugam would impact the insurtechs, the brokers, aggregators, etc.? Because Bima Sugam is a process; it's not a technology in itself. And
Ganesh,
you think any challenges will be there?
yeah, challenges will definitely be there, no doubt about it. Again, the apprehension that many brokers and the insurance companies have is that with Bima Sugam, our business will go down. That is not my apprehension. For the reason, online buying of mutual fund was started in 2011-12. How many years have passed? 13, 14 years have passed. And online boarding of customers in mutual fund is comparatively very easy because it is just choose a scheme, choose a company, choose a scheme, put the amount, get it transferred, end. Nothing else is required. But in case of insurance, there is a proposal form, you will have to upload a lot of your documents. And finally, the IT system also has to be so robust that it doesn't hang. Moreover, what is the age group of clients who are likely to prefer Bima Sugam? in my opinion, all those who are below 25, 30 years of age. Person like me will definitely prefer some agent or at least going to office and finding something. But the youngsters, millennials, Y and Z, whatever we call them, they will be the prospective customers for using the Bima Sugam and buying it through that platform. Now, they have their own, mindset. One is they have least patience with them. Number two is they themselves know how the IT platform should function. So if it doesn't function the way they expect it to function, they will leave that. Now, for moving on to the second page, if it doesn't move on seamlessly within a second or two, he will say, "Arey yaar, hopeless. What is this happening?" They should have built it in such a way that my entire journey of insurance should be over in 5 minutes. And once it exceeds 5 minutes, he will be out and he will never attempt that. Patience, the level of patience is very low. They are highly impatient. So let us not unnecessarily think that if Bima Sugam is there, the number of policies sold through Bima Sugam will be lakhs and crores, and the insurance companies will not have so many policies. The experience of mutual fund, if you relate to insurance, even today, not more than 10% of the customers are doing it online.
And a few parts.
Yes. Although the product is simple, although it is time tested, now, if at all Bima Sugam has to take off in a big way, what should be done? You should understand the psyche of the people who are likely to use it and have a robust IT infrastructure for seamless onboarding of the customer. And it should be
Do
from
you
day
think
one.
the ownership? Do you think the ownership will be a problem? Who will be owning the Bima Sugam part, or who will be running the Bima Sugam part?
That has already been decided, no? All insurance companies together, they have contributed also. Its head office also has been shifted from Hyderabad to Mumbai.
Yeah. So
So
you think that will be easy? Uh, the way that you think the way Life Council works will work the same way? We won't have any challenges. That's my actual question. Saying that
no,
will the execution be simpler?
again, that is precisely what I'm saying, Ganesh. We know how the systems are functioning. We know how the agencies are functioning. We know with L1, L2, L3, if at all you want the best possible IT infrastructure, you are not going to get it. And in the process, I'm not saying it will be a failure, but I doubt if in the next 5 years you find maybe a sizable number of customers buying their policies through Bima Sugam. I have my own apprehensions about
One second. So it's just a facility लेके रखी.
available.
The last question. Uh, where do you see you have been in the industry for now over 4 decades, and you've seen the all the weathers you can say. Where do you see the insurance industry, Indian insurance industry, in the next 3 years or 6 years, till 2027 and 2030? Let's not go beyond. And how different it is going to be.
See, it's going to be a big challenge, no doubt about it. Insurance Act needs to be amended. That was to be amended in the last 5 years before. Process is going on. But if the bill is placed before the parliament in the first or second session of the parliament, then that is moving in the right direction. Like giving licenses on a line of business or on regional basis. These are really good steps, and they will help industry to grow. But if that doesn't happen, and again, you need to have 1,000 crores of capital to start even a motor insurance business, which is not such a long tail business, or a life insurance company to have R1, R2, R3, and all those, present set. Unless you amend it, modify it, and again backed by Act, because you cannot do it. Even if LIC has said we want to enter health insurance. But if the composite license is not issued without amendment to the Act, what they will do? Unless you get composite license, you cannot sell health. And for getting composite license, the Act needs to be amended. So if it takes for the government 2-3 years for the Act to get amended, whatever LIC has said, and because of that, whatever price has gone up, that will again come down. So these are some of the things which need to be looked into. But
Insurance Act or LIC Act? No.
no, both actually. Insurance Act also. Basically, Insurance Act needs to be amended. But then looking at the protection gap that we have, looking at the people moving from below poverty line to above poverty line in great numbers, GDP going up, there are more and more manufacturing units starting their operations in India, more employment opportunities, the middle class becoming more and more strong financially. There is huge amount of scope for insurance. And if proper steps are taken by regulator and by the government and by insurance companies also in designing the products, changing the laws, making simplification, digitization, and helping the industry to grow by reducing the GST, which is very pet subject of mine, then there is no limit for insurance. The insurance will definitely keep growing at a pace of 10-15%. Actually, insurance premium should grow at a pace higher than the growth in GDP. Then only penetration will go up, because that is what is the definition of penetration. If GDP is growing at 6-7%, the premium should grow at 10-15%. Then only penetration will go up. So that is precisely what is required, and what may happen also with the changes that are likely to happen. Whether only 23-24 life insurance companies are enough for India, answer is no. We should have at least 60-70 insurance companies. Every insurance company has a niche market. We should give them a chance to grow. So these are some of the things which, if they happen in speed, then by 2027, in the next 5 years, I'm sure in case of general insurance, the premium will be double. And in case of life insurance, it will be at least more than 50% what it is today.
Great. Okay. I think that's been a lot of value add for me as well, sir. Thanks a lot. It was pretty useful. And, thanks for your time, sir. Let's see how this goes up.
Yeah,
And
sure.
thank you very much for your
Thank
views,
you.
sir. And I'll be
Thank
happy
you.
to meet you in person.
Thank you,
Talk about
Ganesh.
it more.
All the
All
best
the
for
best, sir.
you.
Take care.
All the best for
Thank
your
you.
book. Bye.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Bye. Good day.